Hi everyone, Titaki here. I have been using M1 MacBook Air and MacBook Pro for about 6 weeks now. Today I want to share the 10 things I personally like about it and the 10 things that I don't like about it. Number 1. Instant wake. Thanks to M1, no matter you put your Mac to sleep mode or complete shutdown, your Mac will open instantly after you flip the lid. For older model, this feature is also available after the Big Sur update, but the difference on the response time and speed is very noticeable. In the long run, this instant wake up feature will be very beneficial. Number 2. iOS application support. This is an exclusive feature that's only available for M1 based MacBooks. Now, more than 2 million iOS apps are available to you without you to have an iPhone or an iPad. And for exclusive apps that is only available for iOS, your Mac can enjoy them as well. For example, I used to use LumaFusion as my main editing tool instead of the Final Cut, but I want to use mouse and keyboard instead of touchscreen. The LumaFusion support on M1 MacBook become a lifesaver for me. Number 3. Xcode compile speed. As a programmer, especially if you are an iOS developer, the improvement on the Xcode compile time is insane. For my personal project, the M1 Mac compiles 3 times faster than the 2019 Intel-based 13-inch MacBook Pro. In long run, the time you saved with this computer will be countless. Number 4. Great battery life. With either MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, both of them gives you full day of battery life. Apple claims to have 18 hours video playback time on Air and 20 hours on the Pro. From my personal experience, I do a bit game dev and Blender work. I think for an average day use, I can easily have 8 to 10 hours of work time with Air and 10 to 12 hours with the Pro. My last year's 13-inch Pro model struggles to reach 5 hours when I do heavy tasks. The improvement is massive. Number 5. Much better keyboard. Not like many others, I actually don't hate butterfly keyboard. But with the new scissor style keyboards, it is much better and so much more comfortable to type on. I can easily type essay and program comfortably on this machine for as long as I want. Number 6. Insane performance for the money. For $9.99 or $8.99 with educational discount, the price to performance ratio blows away all of its PC competitor. Here, I use Dell XPS 13-inch as the example. For the same price, you can only get an 11th Gen i3, which is significantly weaker than the M1 chip. M1 is about 1.5 times faster in single core and about 3 times faster in multi-core when compared to i3. Even if you spend the extra and upgrade to the best case scenario, the 11th Gen i7, the difference can still be very huge. Number 7. Super powerful Final Cut experience. With M1 machine, you can play back multiple 4K or 5K video and real-time edit them without any issue. And dare I say, for the right format, 8K video can also be handled as well. Also for the output time, I selected one 4K clip. M1 MacBook Pro takes about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to finish, and 2019 MacBook Pro 13-inch takes about 5 minutes and 39 seconds to finish. The overall performance on the Final Cut is looking great for the M1 Max. Number 8. Powerful but also quiet. For the entire time I'm using these 2 laptops, both MacBook Air and MacBook Pro works great and extremely quiet most of the time. MacBook Air has no fan, which is understandable, while the MacBook Pro with the fan, but the fan rarely kicks in. The only noticeable time that the fan kicks in is when I'm doing the Cinebench R23 test. Between these 2 laptops, I actually prefer the MacBook Air. The fanless design and almost pro performance just made it a formidable machine. Number 9. Instant application launch speed. When you give Apple full control of both hardware and software, they can achieve incredible harmony. Basically, all the app launches instantly like when you are on an iPhone or iPad. No more wait time after you click the app icon, especially when those app is natively supported by the ARM architecture. Number 10. Super fast SSD across the board. Now, no matter which model you buy, even the cheapest model, MacBook Air, has about 6 times write speed increase and 2 times read speed increase compared to the 2019 13-inch base model MacBook Pro. The other thing about the SSD is the size increase this year. For the base model, we all get 256GB as a base model SSD, not like last year, 2019 one. My 13-inch MacBook Pro only have 128GB, which is the base model of that year. And for anyone who has more demand on the storage size, I think a 512 upgrade or a 1TB upgrade can be beneficial as well. Alright, that's 10 things I enjoyed with my M1 version MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. But since they are the first generation product, they got a lot of traps as well. Here's number one. Number one, they only have one external display option, no matter which model you choose. This can be a real hassle if you want to connect multiple screens to your MacBook, but the good thing is that you still can use AirPlay and Sidecar feature to get additional monitor support. Number 2. Only 2 USB-C ports and no option to upgrade. Alright, this isn't a new problem. The base Intel model also have only 2 USB-C ports, but we do have an option to upgrade to the 4 USB-C port model. But for M1, if you really want the new Apple Silicon, you can only have 2 USB-C ports with your MacBook Pro or MacBook Air. There's no upgrade option and no workaround on this one. Number 3. iOS app not ready yet. I know I said that able to use iOS application is one of the things I loved about it, but most of the apps are still touch-centric. You can't change the screen ratio, and you still have to use mouse or touchpad as your input gesture, which can be very frustrating to use. In addition, this is still the first-gen product of the M1 series, so many older iOS apps are still not updated or verified by macOS yet. Also, for any reason, many popular games and apps like PUBG, Call of Duty are just not available for macOS at all. So, to be able to fully utilize this iOS application feature, we still have a long way to go. Number 4. Essential apps not all natively supported yet. Things like Blender and Unity Editor are not natively supported on M1 yet. If there are some niche apps for your specific workflow you have to have, you shouldn't consider the M1 MacBook yet, because you have no idea when you will get an update for the official support. But one thing I have to give Apple, with only 2 months after the MacBook launch, many developers have finished their transition or either wrapping up their transition right now. Only Apple can do it that fast in such a short time period. But still remember, this is an ongoing process. You are still basically beta testing for Apple. Number 5. Gaming experience sucks. I know that compared to previous gen MacBooks, the graphics power of M1 do have significant increase, and the game support for macOS is not really good to start with. For M1, it's just gonna be worse. Many games are either unplayable or crash after launch. For those games that are able to launch, you will have performance suffer due to non-native support. So if you really have to play games on these new Macs, cloud gaming is the way to go. I actually really like the experience with the GeForce Now. Number 6. Still the 720p camera. It's 2021 now. iMac finally had its camera upgrade from 720p to 1080p. To be honest, the poor quality of the FaceTime camera on the new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro starts to feel really intolerable in 2021. Number 7. Still the same chassis. Last time Apple changed CPU architecture, they refreshed the entire design of the laptop. I really wish they did the same with the first gen M1 MacBook as well. However, instead of giving us the thin bezel like the 16-inch MacBook, we still get the same old chassis as the last 6 years. Number 8. Impossible to upgrade internal after purchase. This is actually an old issue as well. Just remember to pick your RAM and SSD size right before you make the purchase. You will have no way to adjust them whatsoever. No improvement on RAM, no upgrade on SSD size. Everything comes in the box, stays in the box. You can't change it or swap them. Number 9. No external GPU support. Usually with the Intel-based MacBook, connecting an eGPU through the Thunderbolt connection can increase your graphics performance dramatically. Now, until we have official announcement from Apple, most of the GPUs just won't be compatible with your M1 MacBooks. Number 10, say goodbye to the virtual machine. Now, with the new architecture, Bootcamp is no longer available for M1 Mac user. Even if you are using software like Parallel to run Windows application won't work properly anyway, so I really recommend you don't waste your time on it. Alright, that's it for 10 things I like about it and I hate about it. Overall, if you are an everyday user looking for a daily driver, M1 MacBook Air is the way to go. Its performance easily bullies all PC competitors with the same price, and the build quality of Mac is far more superior than most of the PC laptop. However, for heavy users, especially if you have some apps you have to use during the workflow, probably wait for more powerful product later. Someone just rumored an M1X with 32 core or 64 core. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.